Hi, and welcome to the next edition of TA Job Market Review with me, Robert Nunn. And today I'm joined by Esther St Louis. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Brilliant. Thanks. Do you want to start just by introducing yourself and a quick snapshot of your talent acquisition career?
Yeah, great. So my career spans just over about 15 years. I started in agency within investment banking, predominantly in finance.
Yeah.
Then in about 2013, 2014, I moved in-house. I've done internal mobility, and then I've worked in consulting, fintech, and a SaaS startup, tech startup company as well. So I'm pretty versed in all those kind of industry areas, but I've done sort of standalone roles, contributor roles within a team, and also I was sort of head of TA within the consulting firm at Antura as well for some time.
Excellent. Thanks for that. So how would you describe the TA job market at the moment?
Very challenging, very, very competitive. Probably more candidates than there are jobs available, especially at the mid to senior level. Yeah, I've not experienced market conditions like this in my entire career history, but I'm reassured that I'm not the only one feeling like this. So yeah, if you're out there feeling the same, I feel your pain.
No, absolutely. And how are you approaching your search? Is there a particular strategy, or is there any insights you want to share?
Well, I was relying heavily on the LinkedIn Easy Apply for quite some time with a zero traction. So I've then since been reaching out to old colleagues, former bosses, just trying to leverage my network and try to catch up with people that I used to work with. Obviously doing things like this and just networking on LinkedIn with new people as well. And yeah, the standard sort of job applications on the side and some of the Slack channels that have community things that are set up for TAs looking for work.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking because you reached out to me and which I was part of your wider network. But what points do you put on that network and your personal brand within the network?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you've got a reputation, you're credible, and you are active with other members in different communities, your name is well known. It's kind of a no-brainer. People will remember you if they hear of that job opportunity or through a friend or referral. Your name will come to their mind. Hopefully, that's the power of referral, I guess.
Indeed. And I know you're keeping busy with your art, but is there anything TA related that you're doing in this period of unemployment to keep up with your skills?
Yeah, there's some kind of courses and additional skill things that I've been exploring on LinkedIn as well. I'm also looking at various podcasts, recruitment-based ones. And also speaking with other people in the industry about what the latest changes are. I'm very interested in AI and the future of AI automation. I've been doing a lot of research about that and how it's going to affect talent acquisition in the future. And also trying to stay abreast of, what does that look like for a TA, especially with the job evolving when it's going to become more automated.
Absolutely. And we're using our friends at MetaView here to transcribe our interview. Just give them a shout out as well. But are there any setbacks that stand out for you, and how did you handle that rejection?
To be honest with you, I think it feels like at the moment a lot of the applications through LinkedIn are just going into the abyss. I mean, you get the standard automated response. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you the number of applications that I've made with minimal traction. It's very strange. I've never experienced that before. But yeah, as I say, it through my network now is really the way I'm trying to go forward, because it's sometimes those little gems in the haystack that where the opportunity lies, and it's just through the power of knowing somebody who knows someone. So
absolutely. And on the converse to that, are there any particularly good processes, good recruiters that have stood out, and ultimately you didn't find the job, but has there been a process that you've been a part of that has stood out as a positive for you?
Perhaps before the last 6 months, there was, I've had some really good, I must say, the last job I worked at, Publicis Sapient, their interview process was amazing, and I worked there doing behavioural interviews for them, and they are a fantastic company. That's probably the most standout interview process and interview technique that I've ever experienced or had the pleasure of conducting myself. But as for everything else, I'll be honest with you, I haven't had many interviews for quite some time over the last 6 months. So
okay,
yeah,
excellent. So I mean, given where we are now and where we were 18 months ago, where recruiters were in hot demand, and now we're it's less so, what do you think the future holds? I mean, what's 2024 going to look like?
Yeah, I think there might be a bigger push towards working with AI. I think companies are increasingly using it for screening, and that's part of my job frustration as well. I mean, are we competing? Is CVs and resumes, are they not getting into the mix now because AI is not picking up the right words and it's not matching up the right content with what the AI has been trained on? I'm kind of, so thinking about how we can work with those tools to get better traction and transparency with our applications. And then I think also a greater focus on things like workforce planning, strategic planning as well in TA. I think that's going to be ever more important, and to really focus on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And final question from that was posed to you from the previous person I had on. How important is the relationship between TA and HR, and what should TA do to benefit from that relationship?
I mean, I think between TA and HR, I think there needs to be a good level of transparency about what the objectives are, what's going on in the business. I think sometimes I've experienced situations where there's been something going on within HR or at the kind of C-suite level, and it's not been filtered down through to TA in the right timeframes, and then everyone's sort of kind of stressing and panicking because you have to quickly change course. And just better communication and insight to plan what the business plans are earlier on would be really helpful. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good communicative relationship with HR, good transparency, visibility of what the plans are, any changes, so that TA has the best opportunity of getting ahead and really planning for any different outcomes that might take a turn. For example, economic downturn, or another COVID situation, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for joining me today, and best of luck with your onward search.
Great. Thank you for having me, and good luck, everyone.
Thanks, Esther. Take care.